Hello Taurus, Sun, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Taurus, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. We're going to see how the both of you are currently viewing this relationship and how you guys feel about it and what actions you guys plan on taking each other's direction and are moving forward. So with all that being said, Taurus, let's get started. It's the overall energy for this connection. So we do have true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. Typically when I get this card, it kind of reminds me of the King and the Queen of Cups in Tarot. So you could be dealing with a water sign strongly, so a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Doesn't necessarily have to be the case though, but we do have to keep an open mind, okay, Taurus? Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations, so you could definitely be connecting with somebody who's very different from what you're accustomed to dealing with. Of course, you could very well be meeting this person very soon, especially for those of you who are single, but let's focus on you first, Taurus, and we'll jump over to your person. Just keep in mind that the roles can be reversed. Also, keep in mind time is fluid, so this could either currently be happening or maybe happening at a later date. How does Taurus currently view this relationship? All right, Taurus. So we do have the Three of Cups. We do have the Ten of Pentacles. And then we also have the Hangman. So it kind of looks like there's somebody here that has definitely captured your complete undivided attention, especially with the Three of Cups coming out here. I mean, this could definitely represent somebody, you know, brand new, because the Three of Cups could definitely represent like the very beginning stages of a relationship. So you could have recently met this person. That's a possibility. Or like I said, you might find yourself meeting this person very soon, but you know, right off the bat, the fact that this person has definitely captured your complete undivided attention is a really, really good thing. I think this is somebody that you can foresee yourself building a long-term committed relationship with as well, just based off of, you know, everything that you've learned about this person so far. I mean, yeah, this is somebody that you could totally see yourself, you know, being in a long-term committed relationship with. Okay. How does this person currently view this relationship with Taurus? Okay. We got the, all right, well, we'll see. Let's give this person the benefit of the doubt, shall we? We do have the Ace of Swords to the Seven of Wands. Then we also have the King of Wands to the Eight of Wands. We also have the Nine of Swords to the Five of Swords. Whoever this person is that you find yourself connecting with, let's talk about them a little bit more. So prior to this person, you know, meeting you and getting involved with you, it looks like somebody betrayed this person and or deceived this person, you know, causing them, I would say, to change drastically. I wouldn't necessarily say that this betrayal that they went through, you know, changed them for the better. If anything, I feel like it honestly did change this person for the worse. Unfortunately, I think that it's very hard for this person to trust people. I think that it's very hard for this person to let people, you know, in, to be totally honest. And I feel like it has a lot to do with something, you know, that they went through, you know, with someone in particular, again, prior to basically meeting you. I'm also getting that after this betrayal occurred, at least for this person in particular, it caused this person to become like very, very non-committal. Not because, you know, not because this person doesn't want someone that they could build with and, you know, establish a life with, because these are things that this person truly does want, you know, in their life. I just kind of feel like after they went through what they went through, it caused this person to become very non-committal. It caused this person to not trust people that easily. It caused them to, you know, kind of keep, you know, people, you know, at arm's length is basically what I'm getting. I feel like this person's very interested in you. I am getting that, especially with the King of Wands to the Ace of Swords coming out here. I do feel like this person's very interested in you. I guess we'll see, though, how this all plays out, you know, because when it comes down to them, Taurus, I feel like you're being very open and receptive towards them and this connection. There's no holding back coming from you whatsoever. But when we look at them and their energy, there's a lot of holding back. There's an energy of them being very, very guarded. And it has a lot to do with what I already basically mentioned. So we'll see. We'll see how this all plays out. We'll see if they allow themselves to go there with you, emotionally speaking, you know, or not. But that's the only concern that I really have when it comes down to this person, is that due to what they went through, it has made this person very non-committal. It has made this person very, very guarded. It has made this person, you know, like I said, just not trust people so easily. So we'll see, you know what I mean, if they allow themselves to go there with you. But how does Taurus currently feel? Okay, so we do have the Two of Swords. We do have the Six of Cups, as well as the Chariot. out here. At the bottom of the deck, we do have the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles is attached to the Ten of Pentacles, which you do have out here. Okay. So in regards to how you're currently feeling about this person, your relationship with them, it kind of looks like the only person that you're really interested in right now is definitely them. I don't see you entertaining anybody else or speaking to anybody else. It kind of looks like the only person that you want to talk to, be around, spend time with is basically this person, is what I'm gathering. I think that the more you get to know this person, the more you find yourself, you know, really, really falling for them. And, you know, the more you find yourself talking to them / getting to know them, the more you find yourself also really wanting, you know, something serious with them. Now, even though you might find yourself falling for this person and wanting something serious with them, I don't necessarily see you pushing for a full-blown committed relationship to transpire between you and this person. It's as if you're waiting for them to push for, you know, a full-blown committed relationship to transpire between the two of you is basically what I'm gathering. Okay, how does this person feel? Okay. True pair situation between you and this person. We do have the King and the Queen of Wands. And for me as a reader, I look at the King and the Queen of Wands as like a twin flame connection. Now, when it comes down to twin flame connections, you know, for those of you who are unaware of twin flame connections and what it looks like and consists of, right? There's always one twin within the connection that actually fears the connection, while the other one is very open and receptive to it. Now, in this case, I feel like you're the twin that's very open and receptive to this connection. I think that this is, you know, the person that's going to find themselves fearing this connection if they don't already. Now, here's the thing. Even though this person has a very difficult time trusting people, even though this person has a very difficult time letting, you know, someone get close to them, when it comes down to you, man, it's like they just can't help themselves, man, but to feel very drawn to you and your energy is what I'm gathering. I think that this person, and again, we'll see how this plays out, but I do think that this person's going to find themselves lowering their guard down with you. I think that this person's going to find themselves allowing you to get close to them and allowing themselves to get close to you. I'm very curious to see how this all plays out on their behalf. I'm more worried and concerned about them than I am about you, to be completely honest with you, because typically when this happens, when the King and the Queen of Wands meet one another, like I said, there's always one person in the connection that's very open and receptive to it. They're not holding back, you know, they're pursuing the connection without fear, without hesitation. But there's always that other twin, that other person that fears the connection, that holds back a lot, that's very, you know, fearful, right, of letting their guard down, things of that nature. But typically what we see normally happen is that the twin that fears a connection the most, what they find themselves doing is basically what we see this person doing, right? Slowly but surely lowering their guard down and allowing themselves to get close to that person, allowing that person to get close to them. And what typically happens, right, is that as they realize that they're lowering their guard down for this person, they start to panic and they start to freak out. And then they fall back into the energy of, you know, becoming guarded all over again, becoming fearful all over again. So it's going to be a journey for sure for this person to the right of me, as far as like allowing you to get close to them and allowing themselves to get close to you without fear and or hesitation. There might be moments where this person might find themselves being very vulnerable with you, and there might be moments where this person might find themselves feeling like it's not so safe to be vulnerable with you, and you might notice them becoming very, very guarded. You might even notice this person pushing you away, but it's not because they want to push you away. It's not because they don't want you or this dynamic that they share with you. It's fear that's influencing this person to shy away from this connection, to push you away. You know, in their head, they're just trying to protect themselves from getting betrayed and deceived again. And in their mind, in order to protect themselves, you know, that requires them to push away the very thing they don't want to push away, which is basically you and this dynamic that they share with you, which, like I said, could be something that you more than likely are going to find yourself experiencing with this person. All right, what actions will this person take towards Taurus or moving forward? Okay, so we do have the King of Pentacles. We do have the Three of Wands. And then we also have the Four of Cups out here. So in regards to how this person plans on moving forward, I think that the more this person spends time with you, the more this person gets to know you, the more invested they essentially become, the more they want to go off and build and establish, you know, a future with you into fruition. Now, the only thing that's going to be stopping this person has a lot to do with their doubts. It has a lot to do with their reservations. It has a lot to do with, you know, the fear, right, of getting hurt, getting disappointed, getting let down all over again. That's the only thing that I see standing in this person's way when it comes down to building and establishing a life, you know, with you, because it's not that they don't want to build and establish a life with you, because they do. I just kind of feel like there's certain things that they essentially allow to basically stop them from fully going there with you. All right, what actions will Taurus take towards this person or moving forward? Okay, there's going to come a point in time where you're going to find yourself really questioning, where is this dynamic between the two of you going? Because again, going back to like what I said, even though you foresee yourself building and establishing a life with this person, I don't see you pushing for a full-blown committed relationship to come out of this entire situation between the two of you. It kind of looks like you're basically waiting on them, you know, to basically pop the question, if you will. And I think that as time goes by and you don't necessarily see this person popping the question, it causes you to question, okay, where is this going? Like, what are we doing here? So I do see you bringing up that conversation to this person, you know, eventually, and be prepared, because that's what this person's going to hit you with. They're going to hit you with this energy of, yes, wanting to pursue you and establish a life with you, but not necessarily feeling entirely ready for all of that due to the things that I already basically mentioned. Now, I do want to see what's ultimately going to end up happening here between you and this person. Okay, so we have the High Priestess to the Eight of Wands. We got the Fool, we got the Ten of Swords, and then we also have the Sun out here. All right. At the bottom of the deck, we do have the Five of Pentacles to the Five of Swords to the Nine of Swords. Okay, so I'm going to be totally honest with you, Taurus. I think that when this person hits you with the, you know, I really do want to be with you, Taurus, but I just need some time. I'm just not ready, blah, 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 right? I think that you're going to turn around and try your hardest to be as patient and understanding as you possibly can. But there's going to come a point in time where you're going to get sick and tired of waiting on this person to take you in this dynamic that the two of you share with one another to the next level, to the point where I do see you eventually hitting them with an ultimatum. We're either going to do this or we're not going to do this, okay? Now, when this moment does occur here between the two of you, I think that that's when this person's going to really step up to the plate and turn around and basically give you what you basically want, which is a full-blown committed relationship between the two of you, which is the exact same thing that they want with you. The only thing is that, like I said, what's stopping them has a lot to do with fear. It has a lot to do with the whole, but what if this happens or what if that happens, right? So when you do hit this person with this ultimatum of, we're either going to build towards a life with one another or we're not, that's when I do see this person eventually stepping up to a plate and giving you exactly what it is that you want. This entire situation requires them to do something that's very, very uncomfortable, which is to basically take a chance on you in this dynamic that the two of you share with one another. Not necessarily knowing, you know, if this is going to work out in their favor or backfire in this person's face. Now, considering the fact that you guys are showing up as the King and the Queen of Wands, and we have the Hierophant to the High Priestess coming out here, that's kind of telling me that you guys are going to be in each other's lives for a very, very long time. I'm not talking about a year or two or three or four. I'm talking about decades upon decades upon decades upon decades. Typically with the King and the Queen of Wands, you know, as far as like age is concerned, when it comes on to the King and the Queen of Wands, I typically look at the King and the Queen of Wands as, you know, two people who are either like, you know, in their 20s or basically in their 30s. So you could have met this person in your 20s or basically in your 30s. But when we look at the Hierophant to the High Priestess, these are two people who are around the age of like, you know, 60, 70, you know, around that age group. Okay. So that's why I'm saying you guys are going to be in each other's lives for a very, very long time is basically what I'm getting. Marriage could totally come out of this entire situation as well. So this is not going to be a shortly lived relationship by any means. I mean, this is somebody that you're going to spend a very, 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 very long time with. Is basically what I'm gathering. But I do feel like you kind of have to hit them, you know, eventually with this ultimatum. Like, we're either going to do this or we're not going to do this. You let me know. You know what I mean? And make it very crystal clear to this person that if this person is not ready for something serious, that you need to get up and walk away and make room for somebody who actually is serious for, who actually is ready for something serious, And I think that that will definitely force this person to step up to the plate. Granted, it's going to be very uncomfortable for this person to step up to the plate and turn around and give you what you want, but it's not because they don't want to give you what they want. It's just they're too afraid because of the level of the unknown, not knowing how this is going to play out, not knowing if this is going to work on their favor or not. You know what I mean? I think the level of the unknown scares this person. I think that after this betrayal that they went through with this person that they were dealing with prior to you, I feel like they've just been playing it safe ever since, by not allowing themselves to get too close to a person or allowing a person to get too close to them. They've just been playing it safe this whole entire time. And now that you're here, it's one of those situations where I will say you're more than likely very different from what this person's accustomed to dealing with. And the reason why I say that is because if this person has been living their life after this betrayal, playing it safe, not allowing themselves to get too close to people or allowing people to get too close to them, and then boom, you end up showing up and they just can't help but to want to let you in, but to want to pursue you in a life with you, I think it just goes to show that you're going to be primarily the reason why this person overcomes, their past traumas, their fear of intimacy, their trust issues, things of that nature. Because in order to be with you and build with you, these are things that they're going to have to face. These are things that they're going to have to overcome. And I think that you're going to be the primary reason, as to why they overcome all of these things. Because with everybody else that they were dealing with prior to getting involved with you, I think that this person always knew that this was going to be something that they're going to have to eventually overcome at some point. I just kind of feel like they didn't necessarily found anybody worth facing those fears for, because at the end of the day, nobody likes to be afraid. Nobody likes to be uncomfortable. So I think that that's why they've always shied away from it. They knew that this is something that they had to eventually overcome at some point if they wanted to go off and build and establish a life, with someone, as far as their trust issues, fear of intimacy, abandonment issues, things of that nature. But they just didn't necessarily found anybody worth facing all these fears for until they met you, and they look at you as somebody who's basically worth, facing all of these, fears, in order for them to go off and build and establish a healthy relationship with you. But just know, Taurus, that when you guys do start this journey with one another, it's going to be very, very scary for them. It's going to be very nerve-wracking for them. It's going to be very uncomfortable for them. And I think this person's going to need a lot of reassurance, along the way, from you. I am definitely getting that. But as far as like this person's fear of intimacy, abandonment issues, trust issues, whatever have you, I think that these are things that this person will essentially, overcome within this dynamic that the two of you share with one another. But this is not going to be a shortly lived relationship. You guys are going to be dealing with one another for a very, 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 very long time, is basically what I'm getting. All right. So all that being said, Taurus, that is what I have for you. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated. And I will see you guys in your next reading. Bye.